Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Chris, and today showcasing my Tamiya Astute replica. This is based on a 2018 re-release of the Super Astute by Tamiya. This car came to be, I would say, right before the re-release, the second re-release of the Super Astute. I wanted an Astute, and this car was featured on Keith Morenzi's channel, RC Icons. Actually, it still got dirt from his track. I sent it to him, and he showcased it on one of his videos, and then he Then he decided to run it. I said, go right ahead. This was built for. Please run it. And he had some fun with this car. You know, this car, it performed for what it is. Anyway, he kind of explained the reasoning why I built the car. At the time, I wanted an Astute. This car wasn't on my radar because this car, I think, came around 91-ish, maybe 91, 92. By that time, I was past the RC cars and I was in high school. I was into real cars, you know, full-scale automotive cars, drag racing, all kinds of stuff like that. So the Tamiya cars from, like, say 89, 90, after that period, when the newer ones, I had no interest in because I wasn't into the hobby anymore. When I saw this during the pandemic and I got back into the hobby again, I saw a picture of this car, and I'll put up here, and it maybe be my thumbnail. The picture of this car going down the track, Tamiya, I think it was a Tamiya photo, a promo photo. It was awesome. I was like, you know what? I know the car's not the same type of plastics as an RC10 or any other high-end car. I know it's the Tamiya, you know, that cheap, shiny plastic they use. And the kit is kind of a copy of an RC10, in my opinion, or a low C or whatever they're trying to do. And I know Tamiya's trying to be competitive. It's before TRF cars. But one of those cars, again, you just fall in love with, right? You see the car, no matter what it is, it's good or bad, even like real cars, you know? There's cars that I've owned that total crap, engineering-wise and running-wise, but they look great. So that could be said for a lot of things in life. But anyway, yeah, so that's how this came to be. So I explained to Keith at the time. I sent him a bunch of notes, and I said to him why I built it, how it came to be, and yeah, I wasn't gonna pay the money for an Astute, an original, even if it was. I mean, I saw some on Buy-E, and I found some on eBay, and the price was pretty high. But once you get those old cars, and if they were run, and they were out in the light, the plastic is like glass; it just shatters. And part of the idea, same genre. This is a Madcap. This is a leftover from one of my videos. This was a parts car that I bought from Buy-E. Yeah, this thing, all the parts are out of glass, so it's got similarities, which I'll get to. But yeah, anything you do to this car, you take something apart, you go to screw it back in, it breaks instantly, and you can't. It's very hard to find parts for this thing. So the Astute was worse. So I just said, you know what? I'm going to build something I want to run, enjoy. So what came to be was this car is, it's got a stock wing on it. This is a factory wing, nothing special. Tamiya wing, reproduction Tamiya wing, probably from an egress kit. I don't know. I don't remember when I got it, but probably from an egress kit. The paint on it is the I think the Ferrari Tamiya red. I think it's 61 or whatever it is. It's the mica red. It's a little different. I don't know why this is giving me such a hard time to come off. But anyway, okay, there we go. So it's the mica red. So there's a little bit of pearl in it. I didn't want to just do the standard red because there's like three different reds, right? There's the standard red, there's the bright red, and then this red. And after a while, how many cars am I gonna have with the same color paint? You know, if I keep using Tamiya PS paints, and I mix those. That's another story. We'll get into that one day. So what I decided to do was that when I sent this car to Keith, this car is exactly the same except for right now the front shocks. I had the tear-off style shocks. As you can see here in the back and the rear, I had those on the front. When I originally built this car, I just bought those shocks for another project, put them on here. And the way this really came to be, and to really get back to the roots of this project, I always wanted one of these, but earlier during the pandemic, I wanted to build a modern sand scorcher. I know it sounds crazy, a more modern sand scorcher, because, even it was metal parts, and have a re-release, it was heavy, it broke. It wasn't like a great performance car. You could get a differential for it. I have that. But again, I said to myself, you know what? I want to build a sand scorcher, more modern, and I started using parts from the Astute. I wanted to use Tamiya parts. I know it sounds crazy. And that's how a chassis design came to be. Now that project is still on the back burner. I had a lot of issues with it. Yeah, right now I will showcase that car once it's done. There's no reason bringing that, you know, to everybody's attention because the car's just not there. But what that did was, that got me kind of into the engineering bug. Kind of like, okay, I'm skilled in AutoCAD for work. I mostly do data center layouts, nothing crazy, not really 3D work, but I'm familiar with the program. I said, you know what, I'm gonna try designing parts. So I, believe it or not, I took the Astute chassis, I bought a stock one on eBay, a Riri, and I actually took a picture of it and uploaded it to CAD, and then I traced it, got the basic shape, measured it all out with a micrometer, and you know, measured all the holes, and I pretty much drew it all out, and then I created a flat, two-dimensional copy of a Astute chassis, of the Riri, the 2018. Now with that idea going on, then I modified it for my other project I was doing for the Sand Scorcher, and that kind of went, that's not here or there, but hopefully that will resurface someday. But as of right now, it's on the back burner for a while. But when I was looking at the car, I said, hey, you know, when I was looking at gearboxes and what I could use, at first, I looked at some gearbox that was for some other car. I forget even what it was for. It was an Armor, kind of resembled a Stealth gearbox from Associated. But then I was like, you know, maybe I'll use that. Maybe I'll use a Stealth gearbox. And all these parts weren't available at the time. Now with all the Riris and all the availability, you could buy a Stealth gearbox either from Fan RC, or you could buy it right from Associated, ready to go. It's a kit, $140, you build a gearbox. But again, it's kind of pricey for a car that, you know, I'm creating or I got these ideas for. But anyway, that's what was going on in my head. I was trying to utilize parts that were available at the time to create what I wanted to create. Like I said, that project didn't go so well. I had all these Astute parts, because then what I started doing was I bought the Astute bulkhead, I bought you know, the rear bulkhead, I bought the parts trees. Next thing you know, I pretty much had a complete Super Astute 2018 kit. I actually almost have two of them. I have another kit floating around here. So, excuse me, what I did was I said, you know what, let me build in a mock or a clone Astute, what I always wanted anyways. And then I'm gonna run it, and then all the effort that I put into all the other projects and all the other ideas and all the money spent, I'll make something come to fruition. So that's how this came to be. So at the time, it was hard to get a Tamiya body, a Tamiya Super Astute body. So I just went on eBay and I got a Penguin body. So this is a Penguin body, and the Penguin body fits well. It's a little tight. What do you call it? Excuse me for the itchy nose. What do you call it? It's a little shrunk, if you want to use the term. It's a little tight, but it works fine. It looks great. You know, came out perfect. Trying to get these pins are really, really tight on here, and I'm trying to get these off. Jeez. The other problem is, because of the cold weather, my fingers are a mess. They're all split. I know people have that problem, but I do. Anyway, so Penguin body, MCI decals. The 5s they should be reversed. I noticed that after I put them on, but no big deal. This is a runner car. So let's get a close up. I know Keith showcased it, but let's get a little closer. The body looks great. Cut it out well. Fits really well. So the bottom tray and the body is from Penguin. The decals are MCI, and they held up pretty well. I mean, I see them, you can see some of them are bubbling up a little bit, just a tad bit. But, you know, it's fine. It's a runner. You see underneath, homage to Keith and Glenn. There's a reason why I'm doing this. And back here, now this car wasn't run with that motor. This is a Dynarun motor. I got one of my one of my buy purchases. I threw everything in a box. Got the motor really cheap. Haven't run it with this motor yet, but as you can see, there's still dirt on it from Keith's track. But if you're paying attention and you know about this car, that's not the stock gearbox. So by me showing you what I do, you know, just giving you that little bird's eye view, when I was trying to build this car, the gearbox was the hardest thing to get a hold of. All the parts, the gear case, the gears, it's not the strongest gearbox. And then I guess with the Super Astute, and there wasn't a second re out, so they didn't reissue the re. The parts were scarce, and I don't know. I said, I'm not gonna spend money on a gearbox that is mush anyway. It's hard to get parts for. And again, at the time, it was. So along comes this car. Now, originally I was thinking about putting a stealth transmission in here, but again, remember, it was Fan RC only making those transmissions, and then Team Associated didn't re-release the gearbox as a kit. So it was hard to get those parts, and they're expensive. So it didn't make sense. The whole thing didn't make sense. This car was expensive as it was, a real Astute. You can't run it because it's like glass, you destroy it. And then I'm gonna put high performance parts on a car, it's gonna explode. It didn't make any sense. So here comes this guy. And this is a BBX, which I totally lost. As you can see, it's all cut out, it's ready to be painted. I even put different shocks on it, and some upgrades. It's ready to be painted, but I totally lost interest in that car. When it first came out, it was the greatest thing since sliced bread. I gotta have one. I bought two, one for me and my son. My son thought I was nuts. He's like, I don't want that car. I sold that one. Never finished that one. Same thing, same condition. I put it all together, sanded the body, made everything perfect, and I sold it off. I don't know. Sometimes that happens, but I did lose interest. So here's some parts. So this is how the second part of this came about. This is the gearbox for the BBX, and I'm missing some bearings. I mean, this has got an open differential. It's not fully complete. I didn't finish it, but this is the premise of how this came to be. So I took this gearbox out of this car, and then I said, you know what? I'm gonna stick it in here. So you say, Chris, how'd you do that? Well, first, let's just take the cover off. Sorry for the noise. Get the cover off. I'll give you a look at the chassis, and I'll explain to you what I did. So let's just go this way. So let's just get a little grab here. You can see in the back, it doesn't have the hole like the stock transmission has. So it's a flat chassis, just like an RC10 or other variant cars of the era. And that's how the transmission mounts, the BBX transmission mounts. So that's the chassis. Now this chassis was custom made by Berserk in Australia. Now, before I get on to other things, I'll just give you one more look at the front. The front is Parago's bulkhead. It's a metal bulkhead. I think Extra Speed makes a silver one. At the time, this was the only one that was available, so that's the one I used. I think the Extra Speed one is better. Just it's one piece. This is two pieces, and it's falling apart already. But I mean, at the time, you use what you got, right? So and the arms are JC Racing arms. So if you could see the JC Racing arms, because I wasn't going to use the crappy plastic ones from Tamiya. So it's got some good parts on it, and all of the again, this was all showcased by Keith, but it has Extra Speed uprights and camber and all that stuff, and it's got titanium. Some of the tie rods are titanium, some of them are just basic, regular Tamiya stuff, and also it's got the aluminum steering from Extra Speed, the Extra Speed servo mount. I mean, I did everything Extra Speed because I got everything through at the time. It was I can't remember now. RC Mart. They had a good deal going, so I bought all the. This is way before the tariffs, so I purchased all those parts. And then what I did was on eBay, you could get an RC10 style battery holder. So that's what that is. I purchased that. This is all way before you could get parts for the Super Astute, from the second run. So that's how this came to fruition. And the only part that's stock Tamiya is the holder for the body mount holder. Everything else here, this is Extra Speed, and like I said, the chassis is Berserk. Now, and also what I did was in the rear, these are metal uprights, rear uprights for a Top Force. I don't know what brand they are, I don't remember. Bought them years ago, I spaced them out. If you could see, they're spaced. And then I just used, because I was trying to build Top Force Evo. I had talked about that in my other video. These are 2017 uprights. So they're just basic Tamiya uprights for the Top Force for the front. So I just threw them in there. I had them. They fit perfectly. Why not? Use them. Again, this thing cost me enough money, so try to save some some costs. So after I had the layout and I kind of figured out what I was going to do, I had to kind of place the gearbox in. Like, how do you get the gearbox to fit? So what I first did was, this is the design for the sand scorch I was talking about. The back's a little different, but how I started to do it was, first I started off with a piece of paper. Actually, first I started off with a piece of balsa wood. I know it sounds nuts, but I took the chassis, I put it on top, I drilled some holes. Cheap stuff. I think I had it was free. I had it from something, maybe an IKEA box. Who knows what I took apart, but it was a piece of balsa wood. I grabbed it. And at the time, I just, started making my drawings, and I started making holes and all kinds of measurements. And then what I did was, I drew it on CAD and I printed it out. So I drew it on CAD, I printed it out, and this was the first chassis design for the original project. So as time went on, I learned how I could take a CAD drawing, turn it into an STL file. An STL file could then be turned into a G-code, which could be 3D printed. So here comes this now. Here comes the evolution of the chassis. So as you can see, this looks very well like a basic factory stock Astute chassis. It's the same 2.5 millimeters, just like the stock. I mean, it's super flimsy, but it's 2.5 millimeters. The holes, if you could see, the holes are all in the right spot. And this is what did it right there. There is the gearbox layout for the BBX. So that was the whole thing towards this, right? I had to create this whole chassis without a hole in the back, just to mount that gearbox. Now, there's different variants here. You can see here, there's the holes for up in here, the holes for the stock battery layout. I did different variants of it because, again, I wasn't sure what I was going to do. And then there's multiple because this was more of the stock chassis with the BBX. This one is when I mounted the RC10 style battery, shorty LiPo battery holder. So I had to run it, different versions of it, and every time I made a change, it was inexpensive to do this. I had the 3D print it to my son's, and this maybe took 45 minutes to print out, and whammo bammo, here we go. I was able to then really check my design. So I said, you know what? A company called Send Cut Send. I've used them a few times, and you're able to send them your STL file. They make a whole bunch of stuff, and again, you go to their website and check it out, and I'm not plugging them or anything. I mean, technically it's a plug if you want to think about it, but they're good. They're a great company. I mean, I upload my design, you pick the material you want, and boom, a week later comes this. Now this is aluminum. This was the first real, I would say, template that it would be like a runner. If I wanted to run a car and I didn't want to spend the money on carbon fiber and really to see if my design worked, this was it. So this cost me less than 20 bucks, okay? Delivered to my house in nice packaging too. I mean, I haven't ordered anything from them in a little while, so I'm not sure if it's the same price, but this is 2.5 millimeter. I think it was 660 aluminum. I can't remember. It doesn't matter. It just had to be a little stiff. I mean, it's pretty rigid. I mean, you could run a car with this. It's heavy though. I mean, carbon fiber plate, you could definitely feel the difference between the two. But again, if you're just building for fun and you just wanted to create a car and just make your own stuff, this is the way to go. Carbon fiber, it's cool. It doesn't flex and it cracks, and it's very expensive compared to this, but you get the idea. So this is how this became. So, and you say, Chris, why didn't you use, Send Cut Send to make the chassis, right? They made it out of aluminum. They offer carbon fiber. They do. They didn't offer it in 2.5 millimeter. They only offered it in 3 millimeter. And they didn't do any countersinking. So because of that, the price wasn't too bad. I think the chassis, no matter where I went to price the chassis, it was under 200, but that's still expensive for one chassis, right? One chassis made out of carbon fiber. But when I was searching and I went up to Berserk's website, they said, sure, if you have a custom design, upload it, we'll let you know. And let me tell you instantly, I think his name is Phil, if I can remember. Excuse me if I'm wrong. He was like, no problem. I can make that for you. And this is back in 2024, maybe like June of 2024, July-ish. I sent him the design. I went on vacation for 2 weeks. I came back and it was at the house, done. And let me tell you, it was perfect. This was, the measurements on here were perfect. Same file I sent to him and he cut it out beautiful. And, you know, as you see, as it stands, this is not a cheap car because it's all custom. I mean, it's nothing great. I'm not bragging or nothing. There's nothing to brag about. It's just what I did. But this is just to give you an idea. If you want to build custom cars and you want to do something special, this is what you have to do. So what it might cost. It comes down to your skill level. But out of all this nonsense that I'm talking, and me and my chattiness, this is how I met Wade Skelton. Because after I sent him the body of his TD4 that he kind of messed up on, he engineered a 4-wheel drive RC10 all on his own. You'll go back to his older videos, and I'm like, this guy has a lot of skills. I mean, he's, you could see he's got mechanical ability, engineering ability. And I was like, you know what, I want to ask him a couple questions. And he was kind enough. I sent him the file before I did any of this, before I was able to create this. I had a very rough file and I sent it to him and he fixed it for me. And he didn't know me from a hole in the wall. He didn't have to do it. It was very, very gracious of him to do that. We actually had a WhatsApp call and we spoke, and I thanked him and he explained to me what he did. And then we were going to do some more, collaboration, like meaning with that original chassis. And then I kind of get the hang of it. And I was like, no, you don't have to spend any more time trying to fix my mistakes. I think I got it. And it was great. I mean, and so we've been friends ever since. But yeah, that's how this all came to be. So an idea in my head for one car turned into a want for another car, which turned into making friends with somebody else, which turned into another friend racing it and driving it. And at the truth, I drove this car once. After I finished it, I stuck in here a GT turn motor, and it was a DOG. It was a dog. This thing couldn't get out of its own way. I was so upset. My son has a, what do you call that? A DTO2. It used to be the holiday buggy, but then we turned it into a Sand Viper. And that car would blow this out of the water, okay? Because of just how slow it was at the time with the crappy motor I had in it. Now it's not. Now, I mean, now we know it needs a little bit more juice. But anyway, yeah. So this car, the hobby, the internet, the whole YouTube thing. Look, you get everybody together, and you got people from New Hampshire, people from Australia, people from Texas. All getting together, and you create something like this. It's really cool. So I know I'm getting blabby and okay, Chris, but I just want everybody to just take a night, look at this little project. If I could do it, you could do it, and it's sky's the limit with today's technology. You can make anything. Now, I wish the only problem I'm having now is that because of the tariffs, and I'm not getting into political stuff, it is what it is, right? And I hope everything is for the best of the U.S. citizen. I hope so. I mean, fingers crossed. I can't get the chassis again if I wanted to, because if Berserk makes it, the tariffs coming into the country are just going to kill me. And I'm pretty sure it would be super expensive just to bring it in. I don't know, I didn't check, but I have a feeling it will be. So the Sand Scorcher car project is going to sit for a little while. I might get it fully designed, get it into metal like this, and then make a decision at that point. So anyway, I hope you like this. Please like, subscribe, give me ideas. Again, comment. I don't care, good or bad. Really don't care. Give a rat's ass. But if you don't like what I do, but this is more for sharing with everybody else that does this kind of stuff. I want to share back because I do love the hobby. Anyway, thanks for watching, and yeah, see you on the next one. All right, guys, I just want to do a quick recap where I forgot to put in the previous footage. One, the inspiration of bringing this video out now was because I believe his name is Dave from Kai City RC. He had his Tamiya Riri super astute, and he drove it and showcased it. And I believe there's another gentleman on YouTube. I think, oh, I can't remember his name. I don't remember his name. He does RC vintage RC. I wish I could remember. Hopefully I could find his stuff. His channel, and I'll fix it in the bottom. But I just in the comments. But I just wanted to just get a little closer up to the car. It does have also JC Racing rims, and it has Schumacher tires. I just want to get a real close up. Sometimes on YouTube you don't get a close enough look, and the reason why, again, I put the yellow shocks on was I just wanted to make it look like the photo, like the original car, the original kit, the original Astute. I have rear shocks, I just didn't put them on yet. I'm missing one. I gotta find it. But anyway, there's the car up close. I just want, sometimes, you know, I just wanted to do that. I just wanted to give you guys a good up close look. And the cool thing is you could adjust the diff, the slipper clutch right from here, not the diff, the slipper clutch right from there. And again, there's all the engineering with it, and it's nice. This car built very well. And there's the main claim to fame of this chassis. Anyway, that's all. I just wanted to give you guys a close up of the car. And sometimes even like the paint work, it's nice to give a close up so you can see the paint lines. Even though it's a runner, it's always done properly. All right, guys, I'll add this into the video.